pink or black?
Well, the pink sparkly one I broke. The one that Jaymes got me is.
Was that a wrong hole incident?
Okay, I'll be honest. I actually broke 3, but then I bought 3 more.
That's a busy Saturday.
Is the one I got you still functional?
Listen, that is like an arm.
It is, right? It
is fucking huge. It's literally half my height.
You know, I've never bought a vibrator for any person, and I was so shocked at how expensive they are. I didn't expect them to be well over £150. I couldn't believe it. And because I promised to get you one. I thought, what the fuck? This was like nearly £200. £200 for fucking what? It's not. Just use your fingers. It's cheaper.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, it's got 10 settings on it.
Fucking hell.
It's very pretty as well, I must say.
It does look nice.
I like the curve.
Right, so in line with that, by the way, welcome to Hotspur Way episode, or season 1, episode 42. You should know better. Harry Brooks, Coach Harry Brooks, we love you, Harry. So, what's his at? At @Brooks_coach. If it's between 2 slices of bread, is it officially a sandwich no matter what the filling is? Hannah, I think this is aimed at you.
I don't think it is aimed at me. I was asked to ask it. Please don't start with me after what you just did.
I didn't do anything. You did it all by yourself. I just pressed record 2 minutes ago. That's it.
I think you just sabotaged me.
Every week it's the same thing.
Yeah.
I think it's the curve that makes it pretty, Hannah. I think it's the curve.
I do like the curve. Well, some of them are dead straight, and that doesn't work with.
It's not ergonomic enough, is it?
1 minute.
Let
me find.
I know.
Well, it doesn't need to be comfortable. I don't know. Ergonomic is the right word.
It does need to be comfortable, Johnny. Don't you tell me.
No, it does not. It needs to be a little uncomfortable. Not a lot uncomfortable, just a little uncomfortable.
Right. So what we're going to do? Let me find a picture of it, and I'll share it on the group so you can all see what Hannah uses most nights. Where is it?
Oh wow. I'm so painfully single.
Do you want to answer the question? While I look for the most expensive piece of plastic.
I do feel
ever.
It's not all plastic. I do feel that this is more of an American question because you Americans love your sandwiches.
We do. I love a good sandwich. There's nothing better than a tasty, good sandwich. And I would have to agree. If it is between 2 slices of bread, it is officially a sandwich, no matter what the filling is. Yeah, I would agree with that.
No matter what.
Is a hot dog a sandwich?
You know what's funny? I can make hot dog sandwiches. I take 2 hot dogs, cut them down the middle, and then you put them on on two slices of bread, and you make a hot dog sandwich. I've made them for my kids. I love them. It's when I don't have hot dog.
A standard hot dog, a normal hot dog.
Well, yeah, you can cut it in half, and then you put it on a piece. You put it
no,
between 2 pieces
just the actual full hot dog experience. Like
I see what you're saying, like the full thing. I gotcha.
Yeah.
See, no, now you're just complicating it because there's a difference between a slice of bread and a hot dog bun, right? So one is a bun, one is a bread slice. So that's, I think, where the deviation needs to be made. Is what vessel cooked the bread. If the bread was sliced, then it's a sandwich. If it's not sliced evenly in pieces like a normal bread slice, then it's not a sandwich. It's either like a hamburger, a hot dog, or a pita. I don't know. There's all sorts of other things. But, 2 slices of bread with something in the middle, you can call that a sandwich.
What if we're bringing fish fingers into this?
Well, I was going to say if I put Hannah's hand between 2 slices of bread, it would be called finger sandwich. It would taste like fish fingers too.
It would. It tastes like a bag of skips.
Johnny, I wash. Okay.
Unverified.
That's true. I don't. Can we start again?
No, we can't. So what we're not going to do is we're not going to discuss the Newcastle game because chances are you're listening to this podcast comes out on depends where you are in the world, Wednesday night, Thursday morning, and you've probably heard and done it to death. Yes, every corner that came in, we were useless, no pass could be completed properly, lack of energy, blah, 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 all of that, right? Yeah, all with me? We don't need to talk about that. I think what is important is that we talk about what it is that we as fans and supporters want. And I could go on for hours and talk about this, but I don't think it's wise if I do that. But I want to ask some questions. First really easy question is, Johnny, do you know the date that Ange Postecoglou started at Tottenham Hotspur? The actual date.
It was not the actual date. I'm gonna range. I'm just gonna give you a range. How about that? It was like June something, I think, wasn't it, or May something?
So it was announced in June, but his official start date was July the 1st.
July 1st. That's right. That's
yeah.
Right. Yep. Yep.
So, Hannah.
Yes.
You're quite good at what you do. Working wise,
Define.
Right? Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. And when you have to rely on other people, you have a process and you know what it is that needs to be done. But sometimes the people that you work with aren't great. They don't put their heart and soul into it and blah, blah, blah. And so you do the best you can with what you've got. You agree with that?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah. So do you think it's a coincidence that Jurgen Klopp and both the magnificent Pep Guardiola didn't pull up any trees in their first seasons?
Well, no, I don't think it's a coincidence.
No.
No.
And isn't it strange how their fans, like Liverpool fans at the time, and I remember there was a lot of Spurs fans, like I used to go to the meeting pub in Larnaca quite a lot. And I was there when we thrashed them 4-1. I think it was 2017. And in fact, I remember Jurgen Klopp's first game. It was a 0-0 with us. That was his first ever game. And we were like bantering the Liverpool fans on that day. We were bantering them throughout that season. And then the following season where we won 4-1 when who was their centre-back? Lovren. He was a car crash, right? Do you think that... There's a question coming. Sorry, I'm doing a bit of a Ricky Sacks. Do you think that Jurgen Klopp or Pep Guardiola consistently change their tactics in fear that someone is going to figure out the way they play?
No.
I am so fucking sick and tired of listening to podcasts and even TalkSport, and they're going, I think Ange has been found out. What the fuck? All you need to do is watch football. I don't understand this trope. So I'll tell you what, I'll stop talking. Can you not continue this? Because you tell me why all of a sudden this has become a narrative.
I think our fan base doesn't help.
Yeah, it doesn't. I think... okay, so Ange Ball was hyped up so much as if it was this kind of like breakthrough tactical masterclass. And I think it's just... I don't know. I think it's like the fall from grace thing. It's just an easy way. It's like lazy analysis. That's how I see it.
I think you hit it right on the head, Hannah, because and it's not even, it's lazy. It's not even analysis. It's just saying, he's found out, because everybody lauded it as this big, huge, oh my God, it's Ange Ball. It's never been tried in the Premier League. And he got here, and obviously it didn't, unfortunately for the arguments, it didn't help that we had such a strong start to the season. And then we started losing games. We started, people started getting injured, et cetera, and then I guess Ange isn't as good as he said he was. Ange Ball has been found out. It's a failure. Blah blah blah. It's all it's all around the same circle of people being lazy and just looking for one thing to blame, and blaming, taking anything out of. Ange Ball doesn't exist in a vacuum. Kane leaving doesn't exist in a vacuum. I mean, everything is just a synergistic approach to winning matches. So if nothing's right, or I'm sorry, if one small thing drops, it doesn't mean that we're going to lose. If two things raise much higher, it doesn't mean we're going to win. If we got like the best fucking player in the world right now, it doesn't mean we're going to win. It doesn't mean we're going to lose either. But you know, it's a system. It's a complicated game. I think that's why we probably like it, right?
Yeah, 100%. And I think the other thing as well is that I just feel if you look a bit more with perspective, if you flipped how the season's gone so far, so say our most recent 12 games, however many it's been, you swapped them with our first 12, the discourse would be so different right now. Like it'd be Angebal's the best thing since sliced bread. Like who needs Arteta, who needs Pep? Tottenham going on this 11 game unbeaten streak with Angebal. If we just flip the results around from the start of the season to now, there's a bit of perspective in that. And I think the other thing is, again, just media over exaggeration. It's the typical talk sport, just absolute yadars calling in, saying we need the plan B because we lost against Newcastle. Well, look at Newcastle's results this season against some of the bigger sides. Look at Arsenal the weekend against Aston Villa. They lose to Villa. We beat Aston Villa. Are there calls for the Arteta to have plan B? No. They're just a little bit unlucky. They're going through a phase. And just get a grip. I'm just bored of the media discourse on Tottenham as a whole.
Yeah, look, we're gonna cover Arsenal in a bit, right? On Monday night, you heard my little spiel about Arsenal. We'll get to that in a minute. But for you pedants out there, of course, Pep every now and then changes a few things where he plays 4 centre backs in defence and then they push up into midfield. Yeah, he does tweak stuff, and every manager tweaks stuff. But they have a plan, they have a system, and they have a strategy, and they believe in it, right? So I'll give you this example at work. We do social media for multiple companies. We manage their campaigns and their pages, and we have a system in place which works. It brings results. Doesn't matter what industry you're in, it works, right? And what we do is we normally have one person who is quite experienced and has used the system before, and then we have either some interns or some newer guys who are there, and it takes them some time to learn the system. The ones who can't do it, they moved on to a different project, and the ones who can continue. And you know what? It's all about the personnel, because I know that this thing works, and no one's going to tell me anything different because the results speak for themselves. So, of course, I will ask the staff, and if they say, you know what, James, I think we should maybe do it this way as well. Let's try it out. Yeah, of course, let's go ahead and see. Most of the time they're wrong, right? It's because we've used this system for a really long time. I know that it works. And it's the same thing with managers. They do not have different playbooks. It's not American football where they have a whole catalogue of, well, in this game we're going to play this way, and now we're going to switch everything up for the next game. The only reason that normally happens is if there's injuries or a manager has a brain fart. But you don't really have these managers doing what the narrative or media narrative seems to say that they do, because they don't. And just look at Jurgen Klopp. Look at what he's done against, at the time, think about who Liverpool have faced as their major rival, which is Man City, a club which is backed by a nation state and a very wealthy one. And yeah, probably cheated, allegedly, right? But you know what? Look at what he has done, where with just some personnel changes, they have gone through and really won the league once. Maybe they should have won it again. They've won the Champions League. They're in 2 finals. And even when his coaches leave, I don't know if you remember this, it was 2018 or 2019, his head coach left. He brought another one. Everything stays the same because the manager dictates what the system is. And then you have to play along with it. And if you don't go along with it, then it depends on the character of the manager. But you'll always find that managers who have a really strong character, they won't suffer falls I mean, you're out, you're gone. Doesn't matter who you are, a player or a coach, you're gone. And it's their way or the highway. And so when I see Ange on the sidelines with his hands in his pockets, you can see, it's quite easy to sort of read his mind. It's like they know what to do and they're not doing it, and maybe more coaching is needed, or you know what, we just need better players. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong in saying that we need better players. I think we need 2 or 3 key individuals, and we're not going to go and sign a whole new team. That ain't going to happen ever. But that's basically my take on it. Hannah, yours?
Yeah, I agree with that. I think it's just a really lazy discourse to say Ange needs a plan B, because I've not actually seen anybody define what that plan B would look like. For me, it just seems like, no, we need to stick to plan A, but it's about doing plan A better. So, like you said, that will come with better players, essentially, and also just embedding that philosophy that we've talked about previously. But with that requires time. So I think our fans are a bit dense feeding into that narrative, to be honest. That's my take.
I think it's not just our fans. I think it's...
No, it's not just our fans. The media entirely is feeding this, but our fans shouldn't bite.
Yeah, I know they shouldn't, but what people should and shouldn't do is irrelevant, because you can't. I mean, it would be lovely if imagine football fans actually had a critical mind. No, well, they wouldn't be football fans, would they? It would be. Can you imagine? It's like we lost the game, and instead of getting really upset, they go, "Well, guys, let's all sit down and think about why did we lose this game." It wouldn't. It would be such a weird sport. So I'm sort of happy that there is this balance, but sometimes it goes overboard. And for instance, I heard someone who I respect massively on a podcast, and he said he doesn't think Ange is going to work out. And I was so shocked to hear that from this guy. Really, really shocked, because I didn't expect it from him. And, he started saying, well, he managed in Japan and he managed in Australia, and Scotland is like having a bye. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about? It doesn't matter where you manage. You either have the character and the experience to do it, or you don't. And I think we can see that he does. But, and I'm pretty sure that the players know this, there's going to be others coming in. And then it's up to you to do the, get better or get lost.
I've got an analogy that kind of just hit me a little bit. And it kind of fits Tottenham over the past 4 or 5 years. So let's say there's a small business, and the small business started out, ran by the owner. It was a shop that made a widget. The widget was pretty good. The owner had to work a little bit by hand, and then he could invest in a machine. So he brought a manager in to help run it. The manager set up the equipment and the racks a little bit, and brought in a few employees. And the manager did what he could with his... Good Lord. The manager did what he could with his resources that he had at the time. But he made some bad decisions, so the owner fired him. Then they brought another manager in. Well, the new manager now gets another machine and, reorients the big room and everything else. And he has a little bit of success, but it's the same kind of thing, and then it fails again. Well, then the owner brings another manager in, and then they get another big machine, and they have to reorient everything else. And after a while, you're losing the synergy of the business. And I know that's the second time I've used that fucking word. You're losing the energy and the consistency of the business to just figure it out. So now we're in a position where we have Ange, who's been here for less than a year, and we've had how many managers in the past 3 years or 4 years? 4? 3? 5?
We've never had one complete a season.
Yeah. So now we've had numerous managers come in and out of this business, to go back to my analogy. You've had numerous managers come in and out of this business, and they've set everything up a little bit differently. They all want different pieces of equipment, and they all want the room set up differently. But we all want the same product, right? We all get the same input, and we all want the same output. But if we're all setting up if all these different managers are setting up the room inconsistently, then anybody that we bring in new, even though we've had these personnel that have been here before this current manager was here, any new personnel we bring in, now it's like everybody has to learn the system. Now we'll kind of use that same analogy on Pep and Klopp and even fucking Lego Blockman. They've had a system for a long time. They've had that business. They've ran that business for years. Any new person that they bring in, not just do they have the system in place, but their current employees that work at that company can help train that person to make it run. So it's not just one person training 15 to 20 people. It's everybody training that one person. So the system automatically kind of starts to run on its own because you've got all that energy already invested into the atmosphere, into the club, into the process itself. Is that a pretty good analogy? I think it's pretty good.
Yeah.
If it's not, fuck off.
No, it's very good. And that's, by the way, it sounds like you're in a dry cleaners.
That's because I think there might be a tornado coming soon. I don't know. There's a hell of a storm coming down right now.
Wow.
Do you get tornadoes, Johnny?
Once in a while.
Oh, I love how you just brush that off. Just mass destruction, not a problem.
It's the United States, man. It's
the
United States, baby.
Yeah, it's
America.
Yeah,
that's right.
So when I was in Florida, and they would board up their houses, and it was like, what the fuck? And they go, yeah, it's like nothing. It's like just another weekend. It's fine.
Yeah, just a tropical storm rolling through.
Considered building your houses out of bricks rather than wood.
My house is built out of brick there, sweetheart.
Is it actually?
It is.
Everything I know about America is a lie.
Seeing everything I know about the UK is a lie too. I thought everybody just ran around doing drugs, having sex all the time. Oh wait, never mind.
Oh wait. you picked the right people.
You're just perpetuating the stereotype in my head. It's fantastic.
I can't wait for you to come to Kent.
So there's one thing I want to say is, so that we don't come across as too happy clappy, is that there is a time limit on when Ange has to get things right. So for instance, not even this time next year, because let's face it, we have seen a massive progression since last season, right? If there is, if we're going backwards in a year and a half from now, questions then need to be raised, because he would have had enough time, so he would have been in for 2.5 years or 3 years by that point. Is that right? I don't know, 2.5, 3. To have got his system in place, brought the staff needed to see it through, and basically whatever Johnny said. So yes, if by that point, by all means, and I promise you we will too, even though I love the guy, yeah, it's just not working out, mate. And it doesn't always mean that you have to give managers time, because in the end it will work out. Of course, it doesn't work like that. In any business, it doesn't work like that. So yeah, you have to give him some time, and if it doesn't work out, nice knowing you. Thanks for all the fish. It is what it is. Who's taking pictures?
Who's taking cock photos?
Too late.
Let's talk about Arsenal a bit. Can we?
Yeah. On that note.
Yeah. So I was at the pub, and it was funny because Tatiana was there again, and
Tatiana.
Yeah,
Sorry.
What? You know what I'm talking about, right?
You
saw a picture. You saw a picture of it. So yeah, she did ask me. She says, can I order some tea? By the way, I don't own the pub. It's not like she's asking me. The reason why, if you've not listened before, is because for some reason she seems to always drink her tea when Spurs score, and I jump up and scream, and she spills it. It's happened twice where she spit on herself. And so I said, no, it's not my team. It's all right. So she was having tea. Now, thank God she put her tea down when Villa scored their first goal, because I did scream like a little bitch. And you know what was interesting? I thought at that point that we, as Spurs fans, are the Joker to their Batman, or their Batman to their Joker. the symbiosis between us and them is so odd. And I know you can say it, but that's what rivalry is all about. When they concede a goal in a big game, it's exactly like us scoring a worldie. That's how I feel. The euphoria that I personally feel is like that. Like, Hannah, you were watching it, right?
Yeah.
As well. How did you feel? Like when they scored their goal on, what was it, 84 minutes, their first goal?
Oh, just deep, deep joy. The timeline was a delight as well, I must say. I really enjoyed it.
Oh yeah, I mean on Twitter, I put my troll hat on and I went. I was
You were
really
a little shitbag, Jaymes.
It was
That's what you
so
were.
funny. It was so
You were
funny.
so naughty.
But it was great. I mean, they're fans, right? They're amazing fans. On like 84 minutes, 85 minutes, started to leave their stadium. Guys, you've got like with added time. You've got something like nearly 15 to 20 minutes left. What are you doing? And that's why, for me, they're not proper fans. They'll never be us. They'll never be us because I don't see nearly half the stadium. I'm not exaggerating, right? It looked like that anyway. Like by the time the second goal went in, it looked like there was maybe 30,000 people in a 60,000 seater bowl.
Yeah.
Spurs fans wouldn't leave if there was still how many minutes? 3 minutes of normal time. Maybe another 8 minutes. We wouldn't do that.
Well, put it this way, Jaymes.
No,
that
the Chelsea
game. Yeah, that Chelsea game.
Yeah.
Like, Jaymes, Todge, were you there?
Yeah, I was in South
Yeah, you
Stand.
were there. That's it. We were both there, and that stadium was full till the end, and that was one of the most painful games I've ever been to watch, because of everything that happened. But that stadium was full, and it was still vibes at the end as well. So no, they will never be us.
It was still rocking as well.
It
like
was.
It's not that everyone just silent. Like they're still chanting, like willing the team on. You know.
Yeah.
And we lost 4-1 to our rivals, and we were
4-1, and also those injuries that we knew were gonna kill us.
Two injuries and 2 red cards too.
Yeah, we knew that was gonna hurt us further on, but yeah, still.
But yeah, it was, and that's why I, every now and then if I'm feeling a bit dejected by, how's our fan base acting, I can't do anything about it. Do you know what I mean? And so, I don't know, having ADHD and having a bit of OCD sort of winds me up, so I can't do anything about it, but it is what it is. And then I look at them, at that swamp, at those cretins, and just think, that's what it is, right? And I just think that thank God we're not them, and we can't be them. I won't get into the finer details of why we can't be them. No comments, please. Right? But we can't be them. Our fan base won't be them. We seem to be a lot more educated than they are. And they sort of like jump ship at the first attempt. And that is, if I'm an owner of a football club where half of my fan base who have paid are leaving early, then I believe that I have a bit of a challenge on my hands. And
sorry.
Yeah, no, go on, mate.
No, I was going to say, because the thing with Arsenal is they've got, to be honest, they've had a good sporting project from the top down. And it's just the fans. Like, they're so ungrateful. Like, they've got such a sense of entitlement, which I do see parallels with our fans, to be fair, as well. But yeah, they're just a different level of fickle. And I think I mentioned it before, it's all like the Arsenal fan TV style fan that sets it off.
It's interesting that you think that we have the same entitlement in our club because they've won so much more than us, at least according to them, of course.
I think it's not necessarily in the like the fans who go to the games, but in terms of the online reactions.
I was gonna say it's Twitterverse fans.
It's creeping in.
Yeah, like it's ridiculous. It's like God, we lose one game and it's pure head loss. And it's like,
well, I guess they're dipshit fans have the same thing because I don't know, I saw some video of somebody calling for Arteta to be dropped because they lost last weekend. I'm like, are you?
Yeah.
No, keep him forever.
Yeah, are you insane?
Yeah, but I've got a point. I've got a point to make about this. if when you see all these idiots on Spurs Twitter, what they're saying and all the crap that they come up with, if you then go to the game, it's like Twitter doesn't exist. Do you know what I'm getting at with this?
Yeah.
But with Arsenal, it's like the people who post on Twitter are at their games. That's the big difference here. It's like their Twitter society seems to go to their games, unlike us, where it's just a bunch of 13-year-olds who are copying and pasting different things, and they've built up some following, and they think they're an authority.
Don't bully them. Don't bully. Come on now.
Sorry.
No, but it's like Josh says. Josh always calls them a social media fan base, and that is exactly right.
Talking about Josh, Hannah, do you want to say one or two words? Have I put you on the spot?
Yes, you have a little bit, but that's okay. Oh God, I don't know. Do I want to say anything?
Well, you can tell everyone why Josh isn't with us today.
Oh, okay. So, Josh sadly lost his best friend, Joe, last week. He was a massive Southampton fan, and last night they did a minute's applause for him. They had his photo up on the big screen as well during the minute's applause, and they scored underneath that. I don't know what the word is, but underneath his photo, which was like a really poetic moment. So yeah, Josh is taking a little break to kind of process the news, but he will be back because he can't stay away for too long.
No, he can't, and we miss you, Josh. You'll be listening to this.
We do miss you, Josh. You've always got too much to say.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't miss those ankle snaps, by the way.
No, I can start. I can start beating my desk so we can bring back the ankle snaps, and I can also make some Twin Tower jokes. I'm sure. Mm-hmm.
I was listening back to one of our episodes the other day, actually, and there's one episode in particular that it is really grating, and you can hear that at the time I don't hear it happening, and he said when you listen back to this you'll hear it, and I was like, yeah, okay. And I did, and it's infuriating, and I hate him.
Yeah, the worst thing about that is I was hearing it for like 2 or 3 episodes, and I was wondering what it was. Like I do the production after we finish recording, right? And I could hear it, and I thought, what is that noise? I didn't know what it was, and it was like, I think 3 episodes later, I decided to ask. I said, what is that? And he goes, that's my ankle. And you know how sometimes someone says something which doesn't make sense, so you just ignore what they've just said? You ask the same question. He goes, yeah, it's my ankle. No, I heard you say that, but what do you really mean? So, Air98 says, do you think fans should be refunded again for travelling all the way to Newcastle that's the number 4-nothing?
Oh, this is a tricky one, isn't it? Yeah, they set a precedent by doing it in the first place, and actually, it's the risk you take, quite frankly. So no, I'm with you, James. Absolutely.
Wait a minute, have they actually done that in the past?
The 6th one,
yes.
Yeah, last season.
The 6th one.
Oh,
yeah.
They did. That's insane.
They did.
To me, it's like, again, I said it on last week's episode, and I said it before, and I'm sure I'll say it again. You're buying a product for entertainment. If I'm disappointed in a movie that I watched for 2 hours in the movie theater, I'm not going to go to the box office and ask for my money back because it wasn't the movie that I expected to watch. Yeah. You know what I mean? You're not going there to watch a team win. You're going there to be entertained for 2 hours. If they don't win, well, go have a beer and, live on with your life.
I don't know, mate. I was really close to doing that with the new Star Wars films, especially the last one.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, God, what a load of shit. What an absolute load. By the way, John, I wanted to ask you, would that ever happen in American sports?
No, not at all. If you went to the box office and asked for your money back because the team lost, they'd pretty much tell you to get the fuck out. I mean, they would laugh you away because they know it's a product. Like I said, it is a product that they're selling. It's nothing more than that. It is entertainment. That's why I think there's, and I've said it before, I think there's just a big difference, or there's a divide between my mentality as an American consuming that product of football, and you all that have lived it and breathed it and grown up in the neighborhood, and it's part of your DNA almost, right? I understand there's a difference. I can sympathize with that, but at the same time, logically, it doesn't make sense in my head to ask for your money back. It's insane.
Yeah. Yeah,
Exactly.
I agree with that. I
It's
think
like you
I
wouldn't
think
ask
it's
for a
good.
refund from the lottery if you don't win.
No,
Like,
I think it's good, Johnny, that you do understand the difference and you do make the distinction there. But I agree with you. I don't because what defines refundable? I mean, like, we're Tottenham fans, so in theory, some entire seasons should be refundable. So,
I was just going to
where's
say
the
that.
line?
Yeah, yeah.
Actually,
And by the way,
all
that's actually
recently.
yeah, yeah. Every Conte season should be refundable. I think that's actually what kind of one of the reasons that the game of football has attracted me over the years is because of the strong communal connection that it has in your part of the world. Like it is not just a team that you cheer on. It is much more than that. And I think that's why it gets difficult for me to even talk on some topics because I can't put myself in that situation. I can sympathize, but I just don't know what it feels like. I grew up in the state of Michigan near Detroit Lions, which is an NFL team. I don't even like them. I don't follow them. They're not my team. I follow a different team. Why? I don't know. It's just kind of what I grew up. It's just the decision I made as a kid. So again, it's not. I can't sympathize like that. It's not. I just can't do it. But I honor it, and it's cool.
So I want to ask you a question actually. I'll give some context actually. So I'm sure that I'm the same as all of you on here, but when Spurs or the team that you support, when it grabs you, so that's normally how it happens. It grabs you, not the other way around. Because if you grab it, then there's a chance that you'll leave. But when it grabs you, that's like it. So you said that you grew up in an area, Johnny, where what was the NFL team?
I grew up by the Detroit Lions. I cheer for Chicago Bears. Yeah.
Chicago Bears are a bigger club, right? They're a bigger.
We'll say that they
in the 80s.
They have
in the 80s, they were definitely bigger. Yeah.
That's why I connected with them. I'm an 80s kid. That's why I connected with them. So there's your answer as to why I connected with them.
Right, but is it the same in America? Like, for instance, I suppose it is. Like, for me, you know the expression, you can change your wife, but you can't change your football team. Right, that rings true for me. I mean, I've had enough of them, so I know, right? And no, I'm being serious, right?
Well, I guess
you can't.
I guess that's true for me too, because I've had 3 pretty serious long-term relationships and a wife, and I've always had that football team. So yeah, American football team. So yeah, that's absolutely true.
So the way that Americans support their teams is the same way that we support our teams. Like, once it's got you, that's it. You're not going to like change around. The reason I ask that question is due to the franchising that happens in America, which I find so bizarre.
Yeah.
I don't understand how you can support a team and all of a sudden they just get up and move.
So in my whole life, I only have known one person that has chosen to start supporting a different NFL team, American football team. And it's just because he was a Detroit Lions fan and he got sick of them losing and being terrible and being awful. They're like world renowned for their awful front office and all that stuff. So he's chosen to support another team, which, whatever. It is what it is. It's definitely unique. I'll say that.
All right, interesting. So at David Spurs FM, hi David. Who would win in a fist fight between Romero and Lamela? So we asked him, who are they fisting? He said each other. So Hannah, you've got experience in this. Who wins when it comes to fisting each other, Romero or Lamela? And Hannah's muted herself, which is always great. Brilliant. Oh, there she goes. She's back.
I had to take a moment when you said that. Firstly, I don't have experience of this. Secondly, no, I don't.
Oh, yeah, you might not have experience of 2 men fisting each other, but,
Okay, all right. Just spin that narrative. That's fine. I think everyone will believe that anyway, regardless of what I say.
Exactly.
So, who would win? So hang on, wait. Who would win an actual fist fight, or have we moved this on to fisting?
Oh no, it's gone into fisting. Yeah.
I just think Romero.
Is that a competition? Is that a competition to fist each other?
Who's going to win on like sort of amount of fist and like stretching?
Who wins
from the fist?
and who loses really?
Well, I think it's the person
who's going to be on the receiving end of the biggest rosebud. That's what we need.
Yeah, is this Gape or what?
No, I just think it's like who can't walk or play the next competitive game. The person who can't clearly is lost.
Okay.
Who prolapsed this?
So I feel Romero is just inherently violent, isn't he? So that would definitely be like a punch fist. But Lamela's got the spite.
But it's not just that.
So
I think Lamela would just Rabona his ass. So he'd go in with his like left fist, and then his elbow would be up there, and that's why I believe Lamela wins.
See, I thought Lamela would lose because he's so injury prone. You know, he'd probably end up like shitting his own intestines out or something.
That's it. He'd do his hip in again, just doing that.
Yeah.
So thank you, David, for that. At 5...
hang on, wait. Before we move on, can I just say something? What other Spurs podcast would you hear about Lamela reboning someone's arsehole?
But you wouldn't. And that's why we do what we do. No.
We've carved out a nice little pocket of the internet, haven't we?
Yeah. And that's who we are. And if you don't like it, then go listen to Last Word on Spurs, you know, where they talk about football and all that stuff.
I mean, if you don't like it, you're a little bit in too deep now, so...
Yeah. You can't run now.
You've heard it now.
Not with Lamela's elbow up your ass. Yeah, you're not going anywhere. You're like his little conjoined twin. You're just there on his lap.
That's the puppet master.
So at 555 IUVS, sorry, I didn't see who your name was on Twitter. Do you think our starting lineup and their gameplay is becoming too predictable to actually achieve anything in the attacking third? No. If so, what is being done wrong and what should be changed? I think we covered this.
I think we did cover this, to be honest.
Yeah. I think it's mainly the profile of forwards and the lack of a proper six is the main issue. Because everyone's just very sort of direct, can't retain the ball. But if you had forwards who can retain the ball and, like, you know, have an actual think and brain cell between them and don't just, you know, spack out a bit when they get the ball and shit the bed, then I think we'll be all right.
Exactly. G at it's Gingy. You've probably had this question before or something similar. What do you guys personally think Ange needs to do over the summer to boost our rebuild?
This is one for you, James, I think.
Todge.
Groovy. Yay. I lean on for the last question, really. I think it's just the profile of forwards. Centre-backs as well. A proper defensive mid, like Onana, or just someone that isn't Basuma, or just shoehorned. But I think the main difference you'll see is in the profile of forward. I love Son. We all love Sonny. But he's not a player you want to get involved in build-up. You just want him being on the end of things, like Hannah likes to be. You just want him finishing off everything that comes his way. And then you just don't want Werner in build-up. Fine for a backup, but you don't want him there. Kulusevski's too predictable. He's probably better in the middle. Hill's a little twink. Solomon, he'll probably get bombed. Who knows with the state of our fan base. So yeah, new forwards, please. That's my request, and that's how we do better.
Yeah, I think what we need to do is we need to see ambition from the board, because I also believe that, not that they listen to this, but they also believe what we believe, in that there has been progression and clearly playing staff that fits this system and that is better, needs to be added. And so if our level of ambition is just Werner, then we have issues. And I don't think it will be. I think that they're going to go strong, and I really hope that they go strong. And also, unfortunately, I think that depends on us making Champions League, which I still think we might. By the way, is anyone watching Arsenal? They're playing right now.
Jaymes will be.
George?
No, I'm not.
Oh.
Should we just
Are you
check?
watching
Dedication to the pod.
I'm looking at the score.
I've got the scores up.
I'm not watching.
Oh, what's the score?
The scores are up.
What was the
They're
score?
losing.
1-0 Bayern
Yes.
and 1-0 Real Madrid.
Right, so I'll ask a question. Plastic presenters on Sky Sports who are, I can't believe, so 1 minute, let's just find it, because I can't believe this rubbish. Where was it? Oh, this is great podcasting, you know, when you're trying to
Do you
find
want me
something.
to get it?
Yeah, there was a thing from Sky Sports.
Yeah. So, are Tottenham fans secretly supporting Arsenal tonight?
What the fuck?
No.
Honestly.
Why would you ask such a pathetic question?
But this is the state of sports journalism now.
Is that what you call it, journalism?
Yeah.
Well, that's what they call it.
It's fucking Springer. It's Jerry Springer kind of shit.
It is, right?
It
It's
is.
Jerry Springer,
It
yeah.
is. I mean, we do feed into it by biting, to be honest.
Yeah.
I know I did.
Yeah.
That's exactly what
likes a
they
bite.
want. But sure, are you on crack? Are you lost? Are you all right? Like, no, of course we're not.
And City Madrid, what's the score?
City's losing
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's
1-0. Yeah.
Oh, so if
1-1.
Oh, good.
They've
Oh,
just scored.
shit.
Right, so because we really need City to win it, don't we? And we need Villa maybe to win the
No.
Europa. Are they in the Europa or the Conference? I can't
No,
remember.
fuck off. I don't want any other English club winning a trophy.
I know,
I don't care if it means we miss out. They can fuck off, mate.
Well, as long as it's an Arsenal.
Fuck
it's
them,
It's so
cunt.
sexy. when you
Nah,
talk like
fuck
that.
them all. Nah, mate.
I like this fired up. Taj. It's.
No, I don't get this simping for other clubs. I'm a Tottenham fan. I don't give a shit about Bayern Munich called fucking Harry Lisp cunt plays over there. Like, I don't care. Do not give a toss, mate.
So as you're in this mood, you can answer this. It's not a question, it's a statement from @KEED Africa 1. Still, you can bottle 5th spot to Man U as well. You're so washed.
Learn English.
Welcome to the English language, you dick face.
Yeah, learn English, you cunt.
And that is the official...
I heard there's a boat with your name on it.
That's the official response to you at Keyed Africa 1. There you go.
Learn English,
And also,
you cunt.
He
Or
didn't
dick
read the
face.
brief because we asked for questions, and that's not a question.
Yeah, so let's just... I mean, what we can do is we can look at this systematically. So if we just go to Premier League... I think Man U are how many points off us? They're quite a few points off us.
The way
aren't they?
you slammed that enter button, by the way, James.
You liked it, didn't you?
I did.
We are 5th, where they're 10 points.
10 points. 10.
They are not going to get 3 wins and a draw. Sorry, 4 wins, let's say, to surpass us, and we're not going to get any. No. So
Do
no,
maths.
he needs to learn English and mathematics.
Maths, yeah.
Yes.
That's maths, Johnny.
It's not
All
actually.
the
it's
maths.
It's actually math.
Listen,
Math.
you
No,
don't tell me,
no,
I tell you.
I know, but I
it's
can.
maths.
I can
It's
tell
all
you.
the math.
I can tell you because it's a Greek word, and
Oh, for fuck.
yeah, unfortunately, it's a
Here
Greek
we
word
go again.
And no, I, you know what I'm like. I really wanted it to be maths, and I
Do you know
looked
what,
into
James?
it.
Do you know what my issue is with you? You pull the Greek card when it suits you.
No, I don't.
Yes, you do.
Really.
doing it now.
When?
Yes, you
No,
do.
no. You misunderstand.
Tell you why.
I want it to
Josh
be
calls
maths.
you Greek James, and you hate it. But
But
then
I'm not
when
Greek,
it comes
am I?
to maths,
No, I live in Cyprus. I have one Greek father, one Cypriot mother, but I was born and raised in England, and I just happen to live in Cyprus. I'm not Greek.
I was going to say, if you call him Cypriot, he gets really upset.
Yeah, I mean, that's when he called me Cypriot Jaymes. I wasn't on the pod that day.
No,
I was infuriated me.
Jaymes.
It really pissed me off. It's like, how fucking dare you call me that? Like,
on the same pod, right? I listened back to this one the other day. Oh, I can't get my words out. It's so funny. He not only on that same episode did he call you Cypriot Jaymes, he called you Sergeant Major.
Yes. Oh, we love Josh so much.
I miss you, Josh.
You know what a man.
Oh, what a boy.
Do we have any more questions in before you want to cover the give an in-depth analysis into the Tottenham Hotspur female team? Hannah?
I'm not doing that, firstly. I don't know if we have any more questions. Do we? Do we have any more questions?
Yeah, whose shits are worse, James's or Eric Dyer's?
Oh, yeah, that was a good one, actually.
Why? So, we spoke about this before we started recording. Hannah, tell us why this question is being asked from Philip Aldous.
I just feel like I need to grow up. So, we didn't... Sorry. We didn't record last night. Okay, we didn't record last night because Jaymes was ill.
I still am.
But okay, you're currently still ill. Yeah. But I asked for more questions earlier, and I prefaced it with, we didn't record last night because Jaymes had the shits. Which, to be fair to me, I didn't know whether you did or not. So
but I told you, I had a fever. I mean...
Yeah, but you might have also had the shits. I don't know.
I might also have HIV. It doesn't mean that, I mean...
Well, you said it. You said it.
This is in relation to Eric Dyer going off for a shit, right?
Yeah.
We have this as a club. Do you remember when Gary Lineker, who was playing for us at the time...
Of course.
He did a shit on the actual pitch.
Are you serious?
Oh, you haven't seen it?
You don't know that, Johnny?
No.
You've not seen it? Oh my god,
Johnny,
what
if
a
you
classic.
I think if you YouTube it now, Gary Lineker takes a dump on the pitch.
It wasn't even a dump. It was like...
He was doing a full-on dog, just scratching around, having a scoot, having a flip.
White kit. Gorgeous.
This is what Chiellini meant when it's the history of the Tottenham, didn't it?
I'm watching it right now.
Have you found it?
He was playing for England at the time.
Yeah, but he was
at the World Cup, I swear.
Yeah,
it was. He's
yeah. Doesn't he sit on the grass and then just give up?
I think he's got fucking worms.
He accepts his fate. It's so funny.
And then he talks about it openly. Like, no, he goes,
yeah.
I had to go. I just had to go. That was it. And I was like, fair enough.
You have to, wouldn't you? You shit yourself on national TV. You're going to have to own up to it.
Yeah, but I wouldn't be able to. Like, in that situation, I would have just run off the pitch. I hope no one noticed. Done what I done, and then try and come back on.
I think it depends on the context. Because I'm not being funny. If it's the North London derby, right, and you need to go, tell me you're not too fit in Arteta, pulling those shorts down and shitting all over that Fakinago haircut. Tell me you're not doing that.
I'd do it right in front of him, just to make him embarrassed and piss him off.
Literally, then put him out and then cut my ears towards that fucking clock stand at the Emirates. Oh, hook it to my
If you do it
fingers.
on the edge of the technical area, you might not leave it for once.
Right.
I'd fling my shitty underpants into the Ashburton army. Dickheads.
Bunch of dicks, yeah. Ashburton army, they're all left on 83
It's
minutes.
so cringe.
Hannah, tell us about the female team.
I can't. I'm sorry.
Right, so they are...
Hannah, you're the one with labia here, come on.
That's
Someone's got to carry the crowd.
Actually, the funniest thing that I saw on Twitter recently was that guy who looked like Nuno Espirito Santo.
Getting a bussy.
He really...
With his testicles hinged.
It's like he's holding them.
Hannah, can you do me a favour? Can you retweet that on our main X thing so everyone can know what we're talking about? Because to me, it look. Someone says it's that Alan Shearer. It's fucking Nuno.
It's Nuno.
It is Nuno, isn't it? And it's like I'm so happy I've got my new pussy and I'm holding up my balls. What? It was wow. And then the comments are hilarious. It's like someone just says, "I have no words." But Nuno, I mean, I always knew he wasn't going to work out at Spurs.
No balls.
Nuno
Yeah.
ball. Yeah, balls. So the female team, women's team, shouldn't call them female. People get upset, won't they? They get upset over anything, really. They made it through to the final. And we play, is it Manchester United, I believe?
It is.
I have a small problem, though, with all of this. When I saw pictures, I didn't watch the game, and I'll be honest, I've never actually watched a full... No, not even any... I've never watched a Spurs women's game. And not because I don't want to, it's just never got around to it. But when I saw pictures, most of the stadium was empty. If this was a semi-final of the FA Cup, why was that the case?
I think it was just the upper layers were closed off, like a bit like Wembley. We had some games that were limited capacity.
I know, mate, but we've had like a full, again, in the London derby with Arsenal, wasn't it full capacity? This is
the women's London derby?
Yeah,
or...
yeah. Women's
I don't think so.
Oh,
I think that was limited. It might have been a council restriction on like the full capacity events. I don't know if that's still a thing. I know it was with Wembley, which is why.
With Wembley, I can understand it. There's so many, which is a really stupid thing, by the way. It's like a coefficient.
Oh, yeah.
It's really, really pathetic. Like anyway, but I was just a bit. It was a bit weirded out by that. Like it wasn't. I don't know. Like the south stand, it looked completely empty, other than just the bottom bit. And that looked weird to me to see that. And also, why was the semi-final played at our ground? It's just the way it works now in the Women's League, in the WSL. Anyone?
I honestly couldn't tell
My
you.
dad was shouting at me about the Chinese food, so I've got no idea what you just said, to be honest.
That's fine. It was.
There's nothing better on the pod than when Taj's dad yells in the background, by the way.
I love his dad.
He's all right.
Right.
And he loves me.
So I think that's it. That's basically it. We are going to come back next week, and we're going to... I know that everyone's done it to death. We're going to have like a forensic look at the accounts, but we're going to do it in such a way so that even like technical terms are fully explained, so that next time people talk about player amortization and all of this kind of jazz, you know exactly what it means. And because, for instance, I had to have it dumbed down for me, and so now I understand it also. We're going to go through the players for the club accounts, and what does that actually mean for us. And we'll do that next week because we've got no game, right? Arsenal will have 3 games till we play them. So, anything else, guys? Hannah, you've got one thing you want to say, right?
Yeah, so I think, God, I can't remember the last time I was on, but I'm pretty sure the last few times I've said that if you are unable to leave us reviews, then you must be disabled. And it did work because people really wanted to prove that they weren't disabled. So they did leave us reviews. So it'd be really nice if we could get some more.
How many reviews? Oh, 33 on Spotify.
Yeah.
33 and 4 stars. Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and on Apple, what do we have on Apple?
Let's have a little looky look, shall we?
Mine just says 4 ratings.
You can... Do you know how to get to it?
No.
That's so funny. What do you mean you don't know how?
No, I don't know. I set it up, but I don't know how to get... I'm looking online now. I'm podcast.apple.com/blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
No, I don't know how to get to it now.
It's supposed to scroll all the way down.
Oh, are you? Oh, here we go. 4 ratings. Yeah.
Okay, so you know I was talking about being disabled?
Yeah.
That's you.
Yeah, but so...
9 ratings.
But
Yeah.
9, I'm literally... I'll show you what I'm seeing.
We've got a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts.
We do, but the sample size is tiny. This is the problem.
Yeah, but do you know what? All of those 9 people are so spot on.
Are they? Why, what are they saying?
Yeah.
Do you want to read any good ones out?
Because we've got a 5-star rating. Oh my God, you are disabled.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah, but I only see 4 ratings. I know you guys say you can see that. You can see on WhatsApp. I just posted it there.
That's the same thing I see.
Yeah.
Oh.
So I don't know what you guys are seeing. Maybe you,
I hate
you
to
guys
say
are
that, but one of those reviews is me, by the way.
Oh, is it?
No way. You
Yeah.
can only see 4.
I think it's just there's 4 written comments, but a total of 5 star, like 5
There's
star
total
reviews.
9 ratings.
No, yeah, that's what I mean. So there's 5, just 5 stars, but then
Yeah.
4 5 stars in comments.
Right. So the point here is that if you can,
You're slow.
we need that too. And what we need is for you to go on to Apple Podcasts and give us some love there, because that'll really help.
Yeah. And it's fun. Reading your comments, reading your reviews is fun.
Yeah. So George, right? You know who I'm talking to, George. Why don't you give us a nice, funny rating?
He has.
Has he?
Read the fish finger one.
Oh, hold on a minute. Really?
Where's that at?
Yeah, I don't know how you can see them. I can
Shall
just...
I tell you what it says?
Yeah, go on.
It says fish fingers and Tottenham. What more could you want in life? And do you know what? He didn't sign it off as himself, but I just know that's you, George.
True. I don't know how you can see all of this. Literally, what I posted is what I can see. I can't click anywhere. I can't do it. I don't know how you guys... I don't know. Maybe in the UK it shows something different.
I'm the same way, James. Don't worry. All I see
just
is
realised the best thing about George's... Oh, sorry. The best thing about George's review is that his name on it is "God, this is crap." That just really tickled me.
Oh, I love George.
All right.
What a man.
All right. Johnny, say goodbye.
Goodbye, y'all.
Say goodbye, Todge.
Adios, leave us 5 stars.
Hannah.
Love you, bye.
Goodbye for me.